what I really dig is people asking me questions. You can ask me anything you want. I will not necessarily answer.
I'm gonna ask him a question.
Right now?
Right
I'm gonna get in line.
So there's a mic right there. If anybody is brave enough, who's brave? Yeah, go! Yeah! Hell yeah!
Dan's running.
You are beautiful. Thank you. I'm reading lips. I'm beautiful, I take it. I heard that. Thank you. Hey, can we get the mic live over here? Stage left? House right?
Hello?
Go like this. Testing the mic, testing the mic. Testing the beautiful, beautiful mic.
Testing the mic. It's
Rock and roll.
Cool.
Oh, you got two old mics now. Use the power. Put them up. Oh.
Hello. I loved you on Hawaii Five-0. Did your character really die?
No.
Cool!
My character, the producer explained to me that I was, just like the old Hawaii Five-0, there was one character, I forget it, Mr. Howe, or something like that. He was a big, tall, bald guy, apparently. But he was always behind all the, McGarrett would try to get the bad guy. At the end of the episode, he would get the bad guy. But then at the end of the episode, he would find out it was always Mr. Howe from the beginning. Right? And that's me.
Cool.
So the producer, yeah.
Thank you. And you're beautiful.
Thank you. The producer told me I'm going to be in for like 2 or 3 episodes a year, but we're going to talk about you constantly. You're going to be Mr. Cool. So don't worry about it. And by the way, about Hawaii Five-0, Alec, who is the lead, is awesome. Total gentleman, and he's a certified fight stunt choreographer for film in Australia, right? And I'm certified on stage in America, right? So we're taking the transpo van in, and Alex is going, man, these stunt guys are making me mad, man. They're always telling me how safe they're gonna make it for me, and oh, I don't have to worry, and all this stuff. And I'm like, Alec, man, just chill. It's a relationship, man. We're going to get in there, we're going to give them a printable take on take 1 or 2 of the master of this fight, and after that, they're going to respect us just fine. And we get in there, and sure enough, because the fight crew, the same people that did the Bourne movies, so they're like top dogs, right? And they're like, oh, don't worry, we're going to cut it up for you, don't worry, you won't be hurt, right? And Alex and I just wink at each other, and then we give the master in 1 take, and both the stuntman just they kind of go like this. And they sit down. Well, they got in for 2 takes on that whole thing. Yeah, right on. Hello.
Hi. I'm sorry.
I love your hat, by the way.
Thank you.
See, I'm a single parent with a 13-year-old girl and a 14-year-old boy. And so if you're feeling my ego, because when I get back home, it's going to be all like, Dad, you don't know me. You don't know anything. So, thank you. I'm drinking this up, yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Smallville, and I know you're going to be in the 200th episode. I was wondering because last time Brainiac was sent into like 1,000 years in the future, I was wondering if you could tell us anything about the episode you're going to be in this season.
I'm on kind of a clamp down, man. Does anybody read the Superman comic books? Okay, so we won't talk about Smallville. We'll talk about the DC Comics. Okay? Brainiac 5 comes from the distant future in the 35th century, right? And I made the decision that I stopped being evil because it was illogical. And I joined with Kal-El to save the world over and over and over again over hundreds and thousands of years. But Kal-El was mortal, and he eventually died. And he didn't teach me enough to keep the world together. And in the 35th century, every human being liquefies. And I have to come back and convince Kal-El to make certain different decisions so that doesn't happen. Right? So I come up, I'm like they give me the script and I'm like, oh, this has ramifications. This has deep ramifications. And I had a weekend in the hotel to be with myself, and I cooked up all this liquefaction of people and all these images in my head. I got on set, and the director is a French guy. He's like, you are a fucking genius. You are fucking amazing, but calm down. So hopefully all that stuff's in my back pocket when you watch it.
Also, is there any way I can get a hug, please?
I'm sorry, babe, I can't hug. You are eminently huggable, and I am in need of a hug, actually, but I've been told that leads to bad things. But you're beautiful. Harry F. Dresden, brother. How are you?
I'm here. Good, how are you? They took the second mic away. I was going to use my power.
Well, it's probably going to blow up on you anyway.
I shouldn't be touching it. Like I'm the third person asking a question. I've got a big complicated question. Christopher Reeve, when he was talking about Superman, and he was talking about getting into the character, he said, I don't really act. I put the suit on, get in front of the camera, and it acts for me, because that kind of costume can't help but just be the character. So in your process, when you're coming up with, I mean, all these off-the-wall characters, you have Captain John, Spike, friggin' Brainiac, everything. How does the costume inform your character and your process, and then how does that change when you're doing like an audiobook?
That's a really good question. What you hope for is that the costume reinforces the choices that you've already made. And I hate to be weird, but all those weird characters, those are me. I happen to believe that acting is not really about putting a mask on. It's not about fooling the audience into believing that you're something other than you are. It's about taking the mask off. The mask that we all have in public that makes us all acceptable and everything. And if you take that off and just be your weird self, and if they film that, and if they can keep it in focus, it's usually fairly interesting.
That's why we get a lot of cosplayers. They get the same feeling. They put their costume on and they feel like they can be themselves.
Yeah. And you know what, by the way, and you have the best Harry Dresden costume I've ever seen in my life. I was at the very first Star Trek convention in 1978 in Oakland, California, right? Nice. And I was there with my pointed ears and the communicator I made from myself, you know, carved out of balsa wood, and I had my eyebrows all, you know, erased and put it up, and I had a big blonde afro, right? And I was never more beautiful in my life. These conventions are deeply beautiful. These conventions remind me of a Grateful Dead concert or a Burning Man convention. It is, everyone can be beautiful, and if you want to be Harry Dresden, yeah! And if I look like you, we'd be doing a movie.
Damn straight.
Hello, James.
Hey, brother.
So, I have a question. If you don't want to answer it, I have a backup. Armin Shimmerman at Dragon Con apparently told some stories about diva moments on the set of Buffy, but they turned off the camera so nobody got to see what they were. I would love to hear about some diva moments. If you don't want to answer them, what do you say? Sell someone down the river, would you? No, do it lovingly, do it lovingly.
Okay, this is the truth.
Okay.
The truth is that filming a television show is very much, well, I've never been to war, but it may be a bit like that. And the enemy is time. And time always wins the battle. And you always go home defeated, right? It's a very hard day every day when you always fail, because you're always looking for the mountaintop and you always get 5 feet below, right? And the cast of Buffy was a young cast, and they were being pressurized in a way that most of anyone doesn't really realize. And they were also being given money and perks like no one really realizes. And I got the job when I was 34. So I was already kind of fairly stable. Fairly. You know, but if they would have given me that job at the same point when most of the cast got their job, when they were 22 and 24, dude, if anyone would have photographed what I did when I was 24, I'd be in jail.
I hear that.
I'm serious. I mean, like I escaped my youth. I didn't die, and I didn't end up in prison. And thank God, you know. So there's no judgment there. But yeah, there was a.
Can you give a story without revealing a name?
My only story was acting with some of the other actors on Buffy. In my mind, I'd be one, because I used to be a producer on stage, and I'd fire people all the time. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. Oh shit! Did I say it? No. I only thought it. It's okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
Hey, brother.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing excellently well. I've had a beer.
Awesome. All right. I've got 2 questions, and everybody who has 2 questions takes up way too much time, so I say answer just either one.
Go.
Question 1. Do you miss David Boreanaz? And question two, I said just answer either one. What's your opinion of Dragon Ball Evolution?
You son of a bitch. Those are 2 great questions. Yeah. Man, how do I feel about David? The thing is, early on, my girlfriend at the time, who I'm not with now, got jealous of me and Drusilla. Not that there was anything to be jealous about. It was a totally professional relationship, but there was a lot of love there. And she got jealous. So she told me she had a crush on David. And I'm sorry, guys, I am not man enough to deal with that. Like all y'all come at me, hi, my girlfriend loves you. Sign that, please. I would come with a knife. So I spent the first 2 years hating David. Hating him. And it took me 2 years to wake up to the fact that he was supporting me and loving me. And he was saying, hey, dude, man, don't worry. You're in a small trailer now, but next year, I was in a small trailer last year. Next year, you're going to be in the big trailers. Don't worry about it. It was always supportive. Always wonderful. This is my favorite David story. I did an episode on Angel where I was the lead, right? And so I was in every shot. And that just burns you. It burns you up like a candle. You got no more wick left the next week, right? And I'm sitting on the set, coming for the next episode, right? And Dave's sitting there. And it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, we're both zombies, right? I sit next to him and go, how do you do it, man? Week after week, man. Shot after shot. How do you do that, man? You're the lead. Jesus. You just burn me up. And he goes, you just need to look at me. He goes, horse racing. I go, what? And he goes, horse racing. Don't look left, don't look right, just run.